I mean, do you really believe you could beat me in a straight-up old-fashioned fistfight?
Let me tell you something. Me and you, one-on-one, no one else around. I will beat your ass like a Cherokee drum.
Maybe one day we'll find out.
Oh, you better hope that day never comes.
Set. This is Michael Faulkner, and it is showtime at the April 11th, 2017 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you on the Chronic Rift Network. This week's birthdays include Mark Pellegrino from Supernatural, Revolution, and Lost, Daisy Ridley from Star Wars The Force Awakens and Star Wars The Last Jedi, Mandy Moore from Tangled, Tricia Helfer from Battlestar Galactica, Jennifer Morrison and Robert Carlyle from Once Upon a Time, Peter Davison, the 5th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor, and Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones and Doctor Who, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the 7th Sister from Star Wars Rebels, Emma Watson from Harry Potter and Beauty and the Beast, along with Emma Thompson, also from Beauty and the Beast, and children's and young adult author Beverly Cleary, a cornerstone of my literary childhood, who is celebrating her 101st birthday on April 12th. Starting with the box office report, it was a top-shelf repeat weekend. At number 10 is new release The Case for Christ, premiering to $4 million in just over 1,000 theaters. Critics were a bit more favorable than normal for the faith-based fare, offering a 75% approval rating. Audiences loved it with an A+, but the caveat here is that they are a niche that this film is catering directly to. The test will be with general audiences if this title expands to a larger venue. At number 9 is Logan, down 3 from 6th. At 8 is Get Out, down 1 from 7th. Taking its place in 7th is Kong Skull Island, down 2 from 5th. And finishing out this week's bottom 5 is Power Rangers, down 2 from 4th. The top 5 this week begin with Ghost in the Shell, down 2 from 3rd with $7.3 million toward a $31.5 million total. In 4th place is new release Going in Style, premiering to $11.9 million. That's well above expectations and earned a B+ cinema score. But if we zero in on the 50 and over target demographic, that score goes to an A-. Critics, they were a little less forgiving with a 45% approval rating. In 3rd place is new release Smurfs, The Lost Village, premiering to $13.2 million. And that's about on target, and it played well with the 18 and under crowd with an A+. General audiences gave it an A, which is a boost above the 2 previous Smurfs films and their A- grades. The opening weekend gross did not follow that trend, coming in 3rd out of 3 recent Smurfs titles. Critics did not agree at all, coming in at a 40% approval rating. The top 2 this week are right where we left them last week. In 2nd is Beauty and the Beast, earning another $23.7 million for a domestic total of $430.9 million and a worldwide take of $983.5 million. By next week, you'll see it top the $1 billion mark. In 1st place is Boss Baby, adding $26.4 million to a total of $89.4 million. Let's close out the box office report with the look was winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2012, The Hunger Games took number 1 for a 4th and final week with $21.1 million, becoming the first film since Avatar to hold the top spot at the box office for 4 straight weekends. 10 years ago in 2007, Disturbia won the weekend with $22.2 million. 20 years ago in 1997, Anaconda was the winner with $16.6 million. 30 years ago in 1987, The Secret of My Success took the title with $7.8 million. And 40 years ago in 1977, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh took the box office crown for a 2nd and final week with $2.7 million. The box office premiere for April 14th is Fast and Furious. This week's headliner is The Fate of the Furious, an action thriller starring Vin Diesel, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Charlize Theron.
I've been in here for 4 hours. My ribs are showing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm out.
I wouldn't recommend that.
What?
Well, thanks to your botched Berlin job, you all made Interpol's top 10 most wanted list.
Top 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Well, not you, Roman.
What do you mean?
You just missed the cut. You're number 11. So.
I missed it?
Yeah.
That's impossible. What number did they come in at?
6, 8, 9, 10.
She's 10? Mm-hmm. That's impossible. There's no way she's a 10.
Oh, she's definitely a 10.
When a mysterious woman seduces Dom into the world of terrorism and a betrayal of those closest to him, the crew face trials that will test them as never before. The Fate of the Furious is rated PG-13. There are also 6 titles on this week's limited slate, and you can find those in the show notes. Next up is a look at the home entertainment slate for the week of April 11th, and I'll start with newly released on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list kicks off with Hidden Figures, a biographical drama starring Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, and Janelle Monáe. This film recounts the true story of the African-American mathematics genius Katherine Johnson and her 2 fellow colleagues, Dorothy Vaughan and Mary Jackson, who helped NASA win the space race. Using their mathematical calculations, John Glenn became the first American astronaut to orbit the Earth. Hidden Figures is rated PG. The second title is Lion, a drama starring Dev Patel, Rooney Mara, and Nicole Kidman. A 5-year-old Indian boy gets lost on the streets of Calcutta, thousands of kilometers from home. He survives many challenges before being adopted by a couple in Australia. Then 25 years later, he sets out to find his lost family. Lion is rated PG-13. Number 3 on the list is Monster Trucks, a family action film starring Lucas Till, Jane Levy, and Thomas Lennon. Looking for any way to get away from the life and town he was born into, Trip, a high school senior, builds a monster truck from bits and pieces of scrapped cars. After an accident at a nearby oil drilling site displaces a strange and subterranean creature with a taste and talent for speed, Trip may have just found the way of getting out of town and a most unlikely friend. Monster Trucks is rated PG. And number 4 on this list is The Bye-Bye Man, a horror thriller starring Douglas Smith, Lucien Levescant, and Cressida Bonas. When 3 college students move into an old house off campus, they unwittingly unleash a supernatural entity known as the Bye-Bye Man, who comes to prey upon them once they discover his name. The friends must try to save each other, all the while keeping the Bye-Bye Man's existence a secret to save others from the same deadly fate. The Bye-Bye Man is rated PG-13. Swinging by new releases on digital video, I have 2 titles there. The first is Underworld Blood Wars, an action thriller starring Kate Beckinsale, Theo James, and India Isley. The epic struggle between the Lycan werewolf clan and the vampire clan that has vowed to eradicate them continues in this stylish and moody 5th installment. Underworld Blood Wars is rated R. The other title is La La Land, a musical comedy drama starring Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone, and J.K. Simmons. Maya, an aspiring actress, serves lattes to movie stars in between auditions, and Sebastian, a jazz musician, scrapes by with playing cocktail party gigs in dingy bars. But as success mounts, they are faced with decisions that begin to fray the fragile fabric of their love affair, and the dreams they work so hard to maintain in each other threaten to rip them apart. La La Land is rated PG-13. Moving right along to TV on DVD and Blu-ray, we start things there with Tangled the Series, Volume 1, Before Ever After. From 2017, starring Zachary Levi, Mandy Moore, and Eden Espinosa. After all those years stuck in a tower, everyone's favorite barefoot princess yearns to make up for lost time. With the help of her true love Eugene, pals Pascal and Maximus, and daring new friend Cassandra, Rapunzel postpones her wedding and royal duties to defy danger and boldly explore life beyond Corona's walls. Sparkling with fun, adventure, and music from the legendary Alan Menken, Tangled Before Ever After is a magical movie event. The second TV title is Veep, Season 5 from 2016, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Anna Chlumsky, and Tony Hale. Season 5 of the acclaimed comedy series created by Armando Iannucci finds Selena Meyer in the midst of a virtually unprecedented electoral college tie, with her future as president coming down to only a few hundred votes. Selena finds herself spinning her wheels in D.C. as her staff continues their mission to make her seem presidential, even though she's already the president, while fending off the ambitions of her charismatic vice presidential running mate who, through an obscure constitutional procedure, could end up being the president. Veep continues to prove that in Washington, even the most banal decisions can have ripple effects with unexpected and often hilarious consequences. Number 3 on our list is Mars, the complete series from 2016, starring Shhh, Alberto Amon, and Clementine Paudats. From executive producers Brian Grazer and Ron Howard, Mars is an epic series following a thrilling quest in the year 2033 to colonize Mars. In a unique blend of scripted drama and feature film caliber visual effects intercut with documentary sequences, the series presents what the greatest minds in space exploration are doing to make traveling to Mars a reality, and shows us the world they seek.
We're coming in too fast now. Everyone is riding, let us know.
This week's final TV title is Father Knows Best, Season 6 from 1959, starring Robert Young, Jane Wyatt, and Eleanor Donahue. Robert Young returns to the head of the dinner table to play the patriarch of television's most beloved family in Father Knows Best, Season 6. The immensely popular series premiered on CBS in 1954 and ran for 6 successful seasons, earning 6 Emmy Awards from 14 nominations, and has become an iconic part of American pop culture, which continues to find new generations of fans. I'll wrap up the home entertainment slate with Blu-Rays from the past, and this week I bring you one title. That one is The Crucible, a historical drama from 1996 starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Winona Ryder, and Paul Scofield. The setting is 17th century Salem, Massachusetts. A group of teenage girls meets in the woods at midnight for a secret love conjuring ceremony, but instead of love, Abigail Williams wishes for the death of her former lover's wife. When the ceremony is witnessed by the town minister, the girls are accused of witchcraft, and soon the entire village is consumed by hysteria, and innocent victims are put on trial, leading to a devastating climax. The Crucible is rated PG-13. After this brief break for about a shameless podcast cross-promotion, the Weekly Podioplex will continue.
Are you having trouble keeping up with the ebbs and flows of modern geekery? Is the real world holding you back from knowing what is happening in the geeky world? To answer these and other personal problems brought in by your friends, gaming group, and loved ones, Geek Radio Daily presents daily informational sessions brought to you by the wonderful Billy Flynn, the Flynnstress, and podcasting's Rich Sigfred. They contain such helpful segments as history, geek birthdays, box office results, the latest in DVD and Blu-ray, video game and comic releases. Why, they also have a Weekly show hosted by the wonderful Billy Flynn and the Flynnstress, which includes interviews and commentary. And to make sure you are informed, Geek Radio Daily also provides you with your daily dose of geek news to make sure you know more than that jerk know-it-all Steve. Visit us at geekradiodaily.com. That's right, Geek Radio Daily. All the geek without the weight. Now available in fine Corinthian leather.
And welcome back to the Weekly Podioplex. I'm Denise with your Quick Flicks. First up, Disney assures Mulan is getting music. It remains to be seen if the live-action remake will be a proper musical like her predecessor, but Mulan's director has assured music will be a key element in the film. Pressure is mounting on upcoming live-action remakes to not only deliver a production of equal quality to their animated predecessors, but the commercial turnout that comes with it. Beauty and the Beast has set a high box office bar for Tim Burton's Dumbo, the upcoming Mulan, Aladdin, and The Lion King, among others. Good luck, you guys. Nikki Caro is calling the shots on Mulan, but unlike Dumbo and The Lion King, this particular production is facing a different set of concerns. Concerns stemming from a previous interview which indicated Mulan wouldn't feature any songs. Which, I mean, why? The music was great in the animated show. I still sing half of that damn soundtrack. In an interview with THR for her new film The Zookeeper's Wife, Caro offered an update on the musical direction of Mulan. She said, "The live action is based on the inspirational Chinese ballad and on the animated Disney classic. We're still exploring the role that music's going to play in it, but for sure there will be music." And there are also the whitewashing concerns. The same concerns which plagued Marvel's Iron Fist, The Great Wall, and Ghost in the Shell. Caro has said she is keenly aware that Mulan must be culturally authentic. She told THR that she plans on working with experts on Chinese history to ensure as much. She said, "In all my work that is centered on cultures not my own, I hope that comes through, because that is incredibly important to me. When I made Whale Rider, I saw that to be specific and authentic is to be universal, and I've continued to work in an identical way ever since. As the projects get bigger, the more certain I am that cultural authenticity and specificity is the only way to approach my work." I have hope in this film. Mulan is one of the best Disney movies to have come from the studio, and here's hoping Disney is listening and actually paying attention to what its audiences want. I hope they don't take the easy way out. I also hold out hope that Ming-Na Wen will reprise her role. It's a slim hope, but damn it, it's there. Skipping over to Universal, The Mummy is going to explore the deep humanity of monsters. Okay. This new Mummy is more than just a simple reboot of the Mummy film franchise that has been around since the 1930s. And the original with Boris Karloff, it was a great movie. You should take the time to watch it. He's an awesome mummy, and the movie was just phenomenal. It's a launching point for a potential shared universe of the Universal monster movies, with Alex Kurtzman serving as its co-architect alongside Chris Morgan, the longtime writer-producer of the Fast and Furious series. Among the projects that Universal reportedly has in development as part of its cinematic monster universe are movies centering around the human monster hunter Van Helsing, as well as the Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Trailers for The Mummy have teased not only the origin story of its namesake, in this case Princess Amenette, and I probably screwed that up so badly, I am so sorry, but also the larger world of monsters that Nick Morton, Tom Cruise, stumbles into after inadvertently releasing the 5,000-year-old Egyptian princess from her prison. It's pretty obvious Universal is doing with its monsters what the MCU and DCEU are doing with their comic book heroes. And much like the other two universes seek to examine their heroes' psychological and emotional psyches, Universal seeks to illustrate the deep humanity within monsters. Kurtzman said to USA Today, "The deep humanity I feel like these monsters were actually reflecting, they say something about who we are." Kind of. Not in the way I think Kurtzman means. I mean, yes, okay, here's the thing, and we're talking about the Universal doing what DC and Marvel are doing. But here's the difference. Comic books speak to the social and political construct of society. Heroes are a reflection of society. Heroes like Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, Miles Morales, Sam Wilson, and others were brought to light by artists and writers who wanted to show the world that heroes come in all sizes and colors. Kamala Khan, in particular, even explored the idea of becoming what society has deemed acceptable. In the context of a 14-year-old girl, this is a fantastic thing because she's already confused by her changing identity, and with the added stress of being a Muslim American teenager. The need to conform to a box the society has deemed acceptable is felt most keenly. So, when Kamala is given the powers of Captain Marvel, she changes herself into a blonde, thin, blue-eyed girl, and finds out that, not so much. And she goes back to being herself with superpowers. She takes on the name Miss Marvel and goes on to kick butt and save the world. It's great, it's representative and explorative of old themes in a new way. And it's taking this awareness rippling through society and translating it into a medium which can be read far and wide, and can be felt far and wide. Comics, as they are designed, they get people talking. Comics opens up new ideas. Comics are a commentary on what society can be, for better or for worse. Now, monsters, and in particular monster movies, on the other hand, they speak to the fundamental fears within all of us. Fears of war, fears of our society, fears of what we can become, and fear in general. Monsters have been castrated over the years or turned into sex symbols, but their allure is the same. There is nothing scarier than coming back from the dead as an empty, brainless shell. Nothing scarier than walking alone at night and finding yourself face to face with something that smells like the grave and wants you for your blood. And nothing worse than a bloodthirsty wolf consumed with the moon and a desire for killing. There's symbolism there. The fear of war, the fear of the unknown, the fear of women, the fear of men, homophobia. It's all there in monster form. And now again, they've been castrated over the years and turned into sex symbols, which spurs on a whole new conversation about monsters and their lack of meaning. And in Kurtzman's case, I feel like the deep humanity of monsters is doing what Disney is trying to do, or what I feel like Disney is trying to do with Cruella, and humanizing these things. And the way that monsters work is you don't humanize them. They are monsters. They are there. They are scary, and they are left to our own interpretation. And really, that's why they work. And in the new Mummy movie, Nick learns that Amunet is but the tip of the iceberg upon meeting Dr. Henry Jekyll. I see what they did there. The mysterious gentleman who oversees the Prodigium, a secret underground vault where magical and supernatural creatures are stored for safekeeping. As Kurtzman told USA Today, Nick soon realizes there is a much larger world of gods and monsters he wasn't aware of, and audiences will be in the same boat, with trailers for The Mummy hinting that creatures such as Dracula exist in this universe too. Kurtzman also revealed Amunet's powers. Amunet's abilities are organized around the ideas of romance and entrancement. She has control over and power to get into your mind, and creepy crawlies tend to like her when she's around. So right there, here it is. Here's where the fear of powerful women gets represented, kids. This is where studios are afraid of change and so have to reassure themselves and everyone else who has been rattled by the idea of women actually having autonomy that no, it's okay. She'll be defeated in the end, thereby restoring social order. Sigh. I will give them credit though. The universe does sound interesting in a very League of Extraordinary Gentlemen kind of way. However, I will stick with my 90s Mummy movie series though, except that last one. That last one was terrible and we do not speak of it, just like we do not speak of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And that's it for this week's Quick Flicks. I'll see you guys next time on the Weekly Podioplex.
Thank you, Denise. And here we are, once again, at the end of a new edition of the Weekly Podioplex. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to the brand new homepage at chronicrift.com and leave an audio message right there on the website using your microphone. Or you can write to weeklypodioplex@gmail.com. Of course, you can still tweet us on Twitter. The Chronic Rift is chronic_rift. The Weekly Podioplex is Weekly Podioplex. Denise is Riley James Keith. And I am Womprat99, like the creature Luca Bullseye is T16 in Beggars Canyon. You can give the Chronic Rift a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and you can find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. Take a moment, stop on by, and see what other shows the Chronic Rift Network has to offer. We have Cyborgs, a Bionic podcast, the Batcave podcast, the OSI Files podcast, the G2V podcast, Generations Geek, Present the Transcription Feature, the Dan and Travis Show, the Sci-Fi Diner podcast, Doctor Who and Mr. Drew, the Home Game Show version podcast, and so much more. And if you have a Roku player, you can time travel and find us there on the Chronic Rift's Roku channel, where you can find episodes of the Chronic Rift's adventures in the 1990s when it was a public access television show on the New York City airwaves. Check us out and find the culture in pop culture. If you're interested in more of my adventures, take a quick trip to my blog, Creative Criticality, where I'm watching every episode of Doctor Who for the first time from the very beginning of the franchise and reviewing those stories in the Timestamps Project. Right now, the blog is entering the 18th season, the final season with the 4th Doctor, and those reviews can be found at creativecriticality.wordpress.com. You can also find Creative Criticality on Facebook. Denise can also be found on the internet at Accessories Not Included, where she talks about her writing, reviews books, and offers her services as a cover designer. Check her out at accessoriesnotincluded.com. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make at that store supports the Chronic Riff Network. Your support keeps us on the air, and we appreciate your consideration. Look for the links to our best bets and the network store in our show notes, or click the Amazon box on the website. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. On behalf of Denise and John, this is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. Until next time, there are adventures in drama, comedy and action, worlds to explore in the depths of film. Get some popcorn, find your favorite seat, and I'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap!